Good morning, guys. I got a call early this morning from Jimmy, Contemporary Moldings. He does the plaster moldings in all the homes, and he tells me that he is doing the dining room ceiling. So we want to get down there. I want to take you with me, get down and look at these moldings, because I can't wait to see them now. I want to see them before they go up so that I can make any adjustments before it's done, but that is an exciting element, so that's where we're headed.
Hi, I'm Ramsin Khachi. I'm the founder and principal of Khachi Design Build and Stone Lab Surfaces. I've been in the design and construction industry for over 25 years. I've decided to do an entire series around my own personal real estate investment. I'll be taking a builder's custom-like home and then taking it to an entirely new level.
Welcome to Bespoke in the Burbs.
You've already started. Excellent. Plaster moldings going on in the dining room. Good morning, Joe. That looks amazing. You've already started on the outside. So this is the exciting part, what I wanted to show you. Can you actually hold up this piece here? This piece, which you're looking at the back of, which looks pretty plain on the back, but pretty spectacular in the front. Can we hold that up to show what that's gonna look like? It's that lattice that's gonna go up, and it's gonna be installed on the perimeter, just on about a 10 inch, what is that, 10 inches? 10 inches. About a 10-inch band this way, down the sides, and then, oh, that looks spectacular. So a little bit of detail on the outsides, that's the way it's gonna go. And then we're gonna have that fine molding on the inside edge, right? And it'll just, so there's gonna be a fine molding on the inside edge, then that's gonna translate to the center, then there's gonna be a very simple rosette in the center, and that is gonna be the spectacular detail in this dining room. I can't wait till you finish. It's awesome, looking good.
A couple days is gonna be that.
All right, just doing a quick site visit today, and the tile guys have started. So exciting, all the finishes are gonna go down. Let's walk around, I wanna take a look at what they've done and how far they've gotten today. So this is the shared bathroom, and they've done the mosaic floor in here. It's this hexagon, this honeycomb pattern with this pure white in the middle, and then you've got this warm taupe around the outside. I love it. It's beautiful detail. Look how perfect this floor is. This is exciting. Now the walls in the showers are going to be this tile here. Couple of things about this tile. Number one, it is so heavy. Look how thick it is. You've got this quartzite kind of surface. It's almost like this white granite pasos on top. But what they've done is they've done a ceramic core. I'm guessing that that's done for cost purposes. You get the finish that you want, but you don't have the thickness of the natural material on the outside. They've got a composite material, which makes it durable, makes it cost effective, and you get the beauty that you want. The challenge is it's gonna be very difficult to install, especially on the ceiling in there, but I love the start of this so far. Let's take a look at some of the other bathrooms. Semi-ensuite number one, you got this beautiful floral pattern that's gone on the floor. Again, a mosaic tile, and again, beautiful workmanship. I love how perfect it looks. Now, before you point it out to me, I'm gonna point it out to you. There are vents in both of these bathrooms. Now, I decided I'm gonna go with metal vents and try and match them to the faucets in the rooms, because going with an integrated vent, integrated with the tile, is gonna be expensive, and I don't see the value. Number one, in this bathroom, the vent is underneath the vanity, so it's not worth spending that money. Number two, the other bathroom, it's a joint shared bathroom. I don't see the value in that one either. It's still gonna look beautiful. Two places that I'm gonna integrate a vent is in the front foyer and in the master ensuite, and I'll show you those when it comes time to doing them. Look at this tile, that is so cool. Look at the size of it. I do not envy these guys having to handle these tiles and get them installed, but wait till it's done. I have no doubt it's gonna look spectacular. The other room that they've done is the upstairs laundry room. Now, this is the tile that I always say, this is my go-to. It just seems to work everywhere. Rug home. And you can see here, you've got these striations that go in different directions, but look at it installed. It looks fantastic. That's done. All the rest of the bathrooms up here are done. The master ensuite is to be done still. There's more places. So I'm gonna pick you up later in the week when we start walking through some of those spaces. It's been a few days since I've been here now. Things are moving so fast, so much is happening. So let's go inside and get you guys an update. Well, the tiles in the mudroom are done, but look at this. It looks fantastic. I have to say, Rob at Interstone has some of the best tile installers, and I'm so glad that Fernbrook has a relationship with them and they do the tiles. Got beautiful tiles, and look at the installation. That banding looks spectacular. Now in the front foyer, I decided to go with an integrated vent grill in the tile work here, so when it's all done, you'll see that it's all going to be part of the tile work, and it's not going to be a metal grill that drops in. This is where you want that kind of detail. So let's go look at the rest of the house. You'll also notice that Marciano's has actually started doing the trim work. This is so exciting. Such an important part, as is the tile work. Now, Benny, who's doing the trim work here, is doing a spectacular job, and this is so important that a lot of subdivision homes, a lot of trim carpenters just kind of think in their head, you know what, the painter will fix it and make it look good. That is the worst attitude you can have. I love the details. So when we look at the cases, you can see how tight the miters are. They meet nicely and they're even. It's not like one side is sitting proud of the other. That is so hard to deal with. The only way to fix it is just to put a lot of caulking on there, and it looks horrible after. Another nice detail that I specifically asked Marciano's to do is the detail up the staircase. So as the baseboard meets the stair stringer, I had them rip down the top portion of the baseboard, carry it up and around, and then tie into the baseboard on the landing and then upstairs. And you'll also notice that they integrated those receptacles into the baseboard, and on the staircase, those are actually going to be night lights. It's gonna look spectacular. So it's been a couple of weeks, and Fernbrook has finished the drywall in the house, and this theater room is all done. We've got 5/8 drywall on top of the sono pan, and it is fantastic. Now we go to the next level. So I'm taking the opportunity right now, while they're doing trim work in the rest of the house, I've asked permission to come in here with my own team so we can finish the inside of this theater. Our next step is to start doing the decor elements, which are the wall panels that come in on an angle all the way down with LED lighting in behind. So all that is going to come together today with regards to the framework. And we're also cutting out for those Nakamatone speakers. Remember the housings that we insulated inside the walls? We're cutting them out because when those panels go in front, those Nakamatone speakers sit in, and I want some room in behind. The only place that they have to be accurately cut is back here, because they're actually going to be on this wall where it's going to get wallpapered over top of them. So now we're going to get going on that. The guys are here. We've already started doing the cutouts, so let's go. So as we're moving along, I'm noticing a couple of things that I did not anticipate, especially since we went ahead and boxed this room in without really having a plan of where we were going. So some things you come across have to be changed. One of those was this receptacle being right here. I thought it was smart putting it behind the projector so that it wouldn't be seen. But now that I've done the design and these panels are going to come back on an angle, it's going to actually end up halfway through that receptacle, and it's not going to be accessible. So I've just cut it out, put it down here, just moved the box down here, screwed it here. I'm going to pack this, re-drywall it. That panel will come into here, and everything will plug in back here. Everything's good. Okay guys, we are smoking it today. This is awesome. I love the way it's going. So the first step is done. We've got these timber strand studs. Timber strand studs, say that 3 times quickly, in place. Let me tell you why, well, almost in place. There's just this last little bit to do. Let me tell you why we're using these. They're engineered, which means they're very straight, and they're not susceptible to warping. So if we use regular 2x4 lumber, they wouldn't be straight to begin with, and then they may twist over time as the humidity humanity in here changes. So I want these to be perfect, and they're in place. We used lasers, marked them out beautifully. So we've got these 3 arches. Well, what are we gonna do with those? We're gonna come back through now, and we're gonna install another layer of drywall. We're using what's called ceiling board. Ceiling board is a little bit heavier and denser, and it will actually span from here and here really well. We'll put some intermediate braces if we need to, but I don't want to have to rely on those too much. So that drywall is going to go from this drywall, which is here, and it's going to sit on top of here, so you can see that angle. Then we're making a piece of trim here out of MDF that's going to come out and go back and leave a little gap there. There's going to be LED lighting behind, so that light's going to bleed out all the way around one arch, all the way around the other arch, and all the way around this third arch. It's going to look spectacular. Anyways, I'm so excited. Now, there's also the issue of speakers. Everything else is lining up beautifully. We took a lot of time, and I spent a lot of time measuring things, making sure the wires for the LED lighting are in the right places. They're coming out right there, perfect. Some of them were a little bit off, but I've adjusted them just like I did with that receptacle. And then the next thing I have to consider is the speakers. So I've positioned the speakers where I know I would want them. So for instance, if we're sitting here, they are at ear level right there, and those are the side surrounds, and they're at the perfect level. They're gonna be in this panel of drywall. So when it comes here, those speakers are gonna sit in here, and that cavity is where they're gonna go inside of. So everything's planned really well. It's all gonna come together because those Nakamatone speakers are gonna be plastered into place, and then there's gonna be wallpaper applied over top of here. You're not gonna see any speakers in here. Even the front channel speakers are going to be behind that screen, innovation screen that's perforated, so the sound will come through them. You won't see a thing. It's going to look just like a beautiful room aesthetically and then vocally too. So with regards to sound, the audio in here is going to be spectacular. That is one of the reasons why I'm doing this and altering the angle on this wall. Altering this angle also changes the reflection of sound, so you don't get sound bouncing off the walls and coming to your ear. It actually changes that angle and sends it off that way. So I've tried to consider all those things, and I think we're rolling. Next step is finish that arch off and then start putting the drywall on. The room is taking shape. It looks amazing. I love these panels. So the panels are in place, the drywall panels. They angle out, each of them angles out ever so slightly, and they're gonna overlap each other. How they're gonna overlap each other is that we're gonna do an MDF trim here at the end that's gonna come out a little bit and go into the other panel. It's gonna leave about a 1-inch gap. On the back of that, there's a groove that's cut in, and that's where this LED light is going to fit in. So it's a silicone covered LED light that's about a 1/4 inch thick. It's an RGB light, so it's got every color under the rainbow, and it's gonna wrap around every one of these archways. And they're all gonna go on together and be controlled together, and you can control it with any kind of color and any kind of intensity that you want. So it's gonna give a really cool light effect in here. The next step is to start covering these Nakamatone speakers. Important note on these. When these get plastered, it's really important to understand it's an audio component. We don't want to affect the sound coming out of them, so you don't want to use different kinds of plaster. We don't want to use a fast setting compound first and then get into a regular mud. On top of that, we're going to use a regular mudding compound all the way through. First step is to fill the corners. Then we're going to put a fiber tape, which is a very thin fiberglass mesh tape, and that's going to go over top of the joints. Then we're going to skim over the entire thing. So let me show you how that's going to go. And when it's done, you're going to see these speakers literally disappear into the wall. First coat is on. You can see everything's skimmed over. It's a very light coat. You don't want to put it on too heavy. We're going to let that set. We're going to sand it down a little bit because we don't want a large accumulation. Then I'm going to go through and skim it out even further, and these things are literally going to disappear when we're done. It's time for me to cut the front, center, and left and right channel speakers out. Now these are the most important speakers in the theater. Most of the audio actually comes out of the center channel. So we're going to go with Waterfall Audio Pro Custom SAT 150s on the front. Excellent speakers, and we're going to cut them out. Now if you remember, we created those housings in there. It's all insulated. I'm going to cut out these openings so that the speakers then fit right inside here. But wait a second. That's where the screen goes. Yes, our screen innovation screen is a perforated screen, and all this sound that's coming through these speakers is gonna come right through this screen and to the viewers. That is the best way to view it, because now the audio, when someone's talking, for instance, on the screen, the sound is coming from the screen. It makes it more lifelike, and that's why I like having the speakers right behind the screen. So I'm gonna cut them out, get them ready for the installation later. Wrapping up for the day, guys, one last thing to do. Now, because these panels are angled out, it made it a little bit complicated. It would have taken a lot more time to start doing bracing in the middle of the panels. So we decided that we're gonna put everything up and then afterwards use the non-expanding or low expansion foam and drill holes all the way down and put just a few shots of foam just to create a little bit more rigidity to the panels in the centers. So that's the next step. Dane's got that ready to go. You're gonna drill the holes. I'm gonna go behind you and start putting a little bit of spray foam inside the panels. Let's go. Now, I'm gonna wrap things up here. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe and like this video. Maybe share it with some of your friends, and definitely let me know what more you'd like to see. So make some comments, and I'll see you on the next one.